Tonight, I drink tea and eat crumpets. My mom and I hold up a scarf. And an avocado takes a ride on a train. Good morning in the streets of Hammersmith. It is currently around 5 in the morning. That's okay because we have a really fun stop in store for us today. We are heading up to England's second city, Manchester. When making this trip, I wanted to do Manchester over London actually, and Mom said we could take a day up there. And if Man City was playing, we could look into going. Well, it's international break currently, but we still have a really fun day planned in Manchester. We are taking the 6:29 a.m. train on Avanti West Coast. This is the only train that you can use to get up there unless you want to hop around, but this is the most direct, and it is from London Euston, as you could see earlier. They do have a first class on Avanti West Coast, but honestly, when you see this seat, I'm going to be honest, it's not worth it. We are in car letter E. I've done the Amtrak once or twice from Milwaukee to Chicago, but wow, did this train not disappoint. The seat was very comfortable, very, very ample leg room. Couldn't touch the seat. They do have power outlets. I had an adapter that I could use. They have a small tray table. I really won't need to utilize it on this just over 2-hour train ride. Let's talk a little bit about the future of the rails that we are traveling here. They want to develop in England HS2, High-Speed 2, or what Count Binface would call it, FFS1. Current first phase will go from Euston up to Birmingham, and Avanti West Coast will operate on those tracks once that happens. For now, we are just on regular West Coast line tracks. As we head up northern London and Wembley out in the distance, we are fully ready to go. I took mostly a nap on this train ride, but holy, the English countryside was really, really cool. If you are traveling Avanti West Coast for the first time, you can sign up for rewards and get a free hot drink. We'll be doing that on the way back. But now in Stockport, you can see the Etihad in the distance as we pull into Manchester Piccadilly station. We are going to start walking to our first stop, which is not too far. We're going to be having brunch at the Richmond Tea Rooms. One of the things I wanted to have here was have a good cup of tea, and boy did they deliver. My mom does not enjoy black tea. She likes herbal tea, but somehow I got her to drink this, and we got a pot for two. It was apple tea, and this whole restaurant was decorated like Alice in Wonderland themed, and it was so good. Here's what the tea looked like. It was very apple-y, no sugar required. It was just so good. We came in for brunch. It was about 9:30, and I got toffee French toast. It was so fluffy, so good. It had toffee bits and toffee sauce with it. My mom got a cheesy rarebit with eggs and beans. After that, we took a nice walking tour throughout Manchester. We meted here at Central Library, and again, we utilized the Strawberry Tour site where you can get free walking tours. And it was a really cool way to see a lot of downtown sites in the city, like Manchester Central and the Midland over here. The very storied hotel where every British Prime Minister except Liz Truss has stayed. Right here is also the Peterloo Massacre Memorial. Once again, we had a really good experience on this tour. The guide, he moved to Manchester and he just fell in love with the city, and he did a really good job doing the tours here. As we continue on, he said that Manchester had their priorities straight when they had the oldest pub in the town here before they had the cathedral, which we will show later. We continue on now. This is the City Hall. It was a very historic building for the City Council and for then current mayor, but now almost Prime Minister Andy Burnham gets their business done. Next up, we saw the Royal Exchange Theatre, which is this enclosed circle thing in the Royal Exchange. Due to the nature of the space, some really unique shows happen in this place. And lastly, we saw the Manchester Cathedral. So one of the qualifications back when old English towns were made were you needed to have a cathedral. Manchester didn't have that, so they just spruced up this church and made it bigger and called it the Manchester Cathedral. It was really an amazing tour we had. We got fully immersed into the culture. He really knew how to pick off what we did know about Manchester and connect it to new things. We ended on the banks of the River Irwell, where the split between Man City and Man United fans are, and also the Manchester bombing at the Ariana Grande concert has a memorial, the Glade of Light, one of the coolest memorials I think I've seen The whole reason I wanted to come to Manchester was the football, obviously. I'm a huge Man City fan, and we got to go to the National Football Hall of Fame and Museum. Here's my mom and I with the Premier League trophy and the Women's Premier League trophy, which is back in Manchester this year. Man City women are back in the Women's Champions League after winning the Women's Super League. And that was just one of many things at the National Football Hall of Fame and Museum. There were many exhibits exploring the history and just other stories from the English game. There were a lot of interactive exhibits for all ages, and there was also some obscure things like David Beckham's cast that they had and took around England to sign. This was supposed to be a good luck charm as he just broke it before the 2002 World Cup. And me personally, I learned a lot here about chants that they do in the stadiums, how it came to be, and how they've evolved. We also got to see the actual constitution of football. It was made in England, and there were also just a lot of other random and cool artifacts throughout the years. They had a bunch of the trophies that exist in England and what they've won. It was definitely an interesting museum. All right, next up, we took the Manchester Metrolink, which is a streetcar system, and we took it east all the way to the Etihad. The City of Manchester Stadium, or the Etihad Stadium, was made in 2002 for the Invictus Games, would afterwards replace Main Road as the home of Manchester City Football Club. Here is the big banner that they still have for the treble past the North Stand construction. And for the tour, we are greeted with a little hallway here, introducing you to Man City history. This was the Carabao Cup that they won a week before I was there at Wembley. This tour took me across the entire stadium that I've been watching on TV most Saturday mornings when I can, and it was just really an awesome interactive tour to go actually see all the stadium and also learn a lot about Manchester City history. We got to see the Premier League trophy from 2012, which Aguero booted that 94th minute goal in. The ball that Joe Hart, the goalkeeper, also tossed up into the crowd was also there. Got to see all the trophies that they won during that magical treble-winning season, I remember pretty well. Next up, we got to go into the Tunnel Club and where the players would enter. And we also got to go down the various steps and into the dressing room. If you've seen any Man City documentaries on Netflix or Peacock, you've definitely seen this room and it's familiar. It really does look a lot like a studio, but it is the actual dressing room. Avocado, you might see in a few pictures, is Bernardo, my sister's stuffed animal, who did name him after Bernardo Silva, which is pretty cool. Of course, I wanted to get pics for her, and also he is leaving this summer from Man City. Next, we got to take that walk. I also see most Saturday mornings onto the grass of the Etihad. Got to see firsthand that North Stand construction which did open up in time for the Aston Villa game, the last game of the season. It's really surreal to think you're on the other side of the world when all this soccer that you're watching is on in the morning. Here's I am with Bernardo. And I also got to sit in the manager's seat, once occupied by Pep Guardiola, now going to be for Enzo Maresca, who signed during this World Cup for Man City. And he will have to be answering questions in here. This is the press rooms, the press room, where reporters from all over the world can ask all the pressing questions to players and managers. And this was just a really amazing stadium tour. The guides, true Man City fans. This is one of my favorite shots of the trip. The Triumvirate 3 statue in front of the stadium, Colin Bell, Matt Summerby, and Francis Lee. These are absolute club legends from the 60s and 70s who helped win a UEFA Cup, an FA Cup, and many other trophies. We also went across the street to the Joy Stadium. This is where the women play, and we could actually go on this little skywalk and kind of see into the stadium. It was just something interesting to check out on the way to our Metrolink station. Now, I don't know why I didn't get shots of dinner, but this was recommended by the tour guide, and it was really good. It was Rudy's Pizza. This wasn't your American pizza. This was true Italian pizza. Neapolitan style of making it was really good. But after a long day, we still have to go back down to London. One more time at Manchester Piccadilly. We got to see the station quite a little bit. And they have these pianos just all over the place, so We had about 40 minutes to wait, and I took my shot at it. Haven't played in a while, but it went pretty well. But now it's time to actually leave. We're doing Avanti West Coast back down to London Euston. It's the same type of train, same route. Once again, very comfy seats and ample leg room. Here's the avocado ride and train from your intro. And as we leave Manchester, didn't look back in anger, as the Oasis song goes, and waited for the next day as we have a really exciting day. The Etihad lit up at night is so cool on the way out. And while we were here, we had a lot of really nice English snacks, including these Lidl Odies, really one of my favorites from the trip. And it needs a nice pairing. I mentioned in the first train that when you sign up for Club Avanti, you get a free beverage. So I tried its White Tea Company's English Breakfast Decaf because it is nighttime and it is going to be late when we get back. And you can barely see outside in the English countryside. But it was really good. I liked Birchall Tea, which was on the British Airways better. But now as we come into London Euston and go to the underground station to get back to Hammersmith, it was a really nice day. Thanks again, Mom, for letting me get to come. That's episode 2 of The English Adventure. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. Make sure to follow my Instagram at MaxiBoy_aviation. And the next installment, the third and final one, will be out soon. I'll see you then.